In a world where we're all really numb and things are just washing over us, these 7 made me feel alive again. Hello everyone, I'm coming to you on this gloomy last day of 2025 with a favorites video. I wanted to share some stats before I actually get started with sharing my favorite books. I read a total of 47 books this year. I DNF'd only one book. Other books I did DNF other books, but it was only because my hold ran out at the library and I had to return it. So I do want to get back to all of the books that I didn't get to finish this year. I read a lot of genres, but my top 2 genres were romance and fantasy. There was a lot of overlap in that because there was some romantasy in there too. I read a total of 23 romance books and 18 fantasy books. So quite a lot. Out of the 47 books that I read this year, I rated only 7 5 stars, which is really different from the past few years because I've gone at least above 15 books 5 stars. This year was a lot for me. I got married, which was really exciting, and I had a lot of changes happen in my 9-to-5 job. Overall, just a really stressful year. And now I feel slowly the urge for reading and the urge to sit and get lost in a book coming back to me. So I have 7 books I want to talk about today. My criteria for rating these books are determined by a couple of things. One is that I rated this book really highly. 2, the story was pretty memorable / I can actually still remember what happened in the book. That's been a really big problem recently, is that I'm not remembering plots of books. Characters in the book felt really authentic and real, and I genuinely connected with them. And lastly, I would definitely reread all of these books again, and I'm actually planning to in 2026. The first 2 books is actually part of a series. It's Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn and then Oathbound by Tracy Deonn, which I read at the beginning of this year. This is part of the Legendborn series, so there's actually only 3 books out. I think it's supposed to be a 5-book series. We have no release date for book 4. This is a YA fantasy book that is set in the modern day, but it follows the Legendborn Society, which is a society of kids in college who are descendants of King Arthur and the Knights of his Round Table. They all have been tasked with making sure that the demons from the other world, the Shadowborn, are not coming into the mortal world and killing normal mortal humans. We follow Bree, who's the main character here. She is so badass and so amazing. I say this every time, but I would die for Bree. Like, genuinely, just like every other character in this book, I would die for her. I would do anything for her. I'm Team Bree through and through. Reading this series has really reminded me of how I would devour books in high school and how the worlds that I would read about felt so real and so immersive, and I could just really see myself there with the characters. And that's how I feel about this series. I really have loved Bree's character arc, how she's grown from like someone who basically knew nothing about this world and how she's grown into herself as like a more responsible and powerful person. So many amazing twists and turns in here. The ending of Oathbound, I still think about every week. I haven't had fun reading like this in so long. The series truly made me obsessive over something again, the way I was like obsessive over like Twilight, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, like that kind of obsession I have with Legendborn. If there's any series that you're going to start in 2026, please make it this one. It is so good. Next, I have the Lies of Ajungo. This was a short story that I read at the end of the year. We follow Tutu, who is a 12-year-old boy. He lives in the city of Lies, and the city of Lies has no water. The people of the city are given the bare minimum water to basically kind of survive from the kingdom of Ajungo. But in order to continue getting water, the people in the city of Lies have their tongue cut out at the age of 13 in order to assure that they constantly get some supply of water. So he asks his Oba, or the leader, to allow him to travel outside of the city to find a water source and to save him, his mother, and his people. It was written so matter of fact. He was having such adult thoughts, but he's literally like a boy of 12, almost 13, who has to deal with such a huge burden of just surviving. I felt myself so many times wishing that this was a full-length book. I wish there was so much more that I could read and absorb in this world and get more immersed in it than I already was. I just found out that this is like, there's 2 more short stories after this that are in like an interconnected series. So I'm definitely going to read that. This book was really engaging. It really had a crazy twist at the end. It was really sad for Tutu at the end, but I understood what he had to do. It may traumatize you, but it is a good read. Next, I read Funny Story by Emily Henry. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love this book so much. This is my favorite book by Emily Henry. It used to be Beach Read. This surpasses this by so much. This book came out April 2024, and in 2025, I read it for a 3rd time. I'm already planning to read it again in the spring of 2026. I love this book. I think the thing that gets me the most in this is the banter is really good. I think it's really witty and funny, which I don't find a lot in romance books. I really related to Daphne's character because her life is turned upside down at the beginning when her fiance dumps her for his girl best friend. Daphne has to basically like restart her life because she has this bad habit of completely diving into her partner's life and letting go of her own wants and needs for the sake of her partner's happiness. As someone who's also been young and had to do that, I really related to her. Like, losing yourself in a relationship or losing yourself to other people is really heartbreaking when those people actually end up leaving and then you're left with yourself and you're like, what am I supposed to do with myself? I thought it was a really beautiful character arc of her choosing herself and putting herself first, not just in her romantic relationships, but in her personal friendships, in her family dynamics. I'm really excited for whenever this gets turned into a movie or TV show. Like, prepare to be sick of me, prepare for me to be feral about it. I'm already giddy thinking about it. I love it. I love this book so much. Favorite romance of all time. But then we have another series. We have Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. In this series, 2 friends, Eli and Victor, realize that they can get superpowers by dying and coming back to life. It kind of sets up a really interesting moral viewpoint of like what is good and what is evil. There are so many times while reading this, either Eli or Victor doing something really horrible or horrendous, and I remember thinking to myself and be like, wow, this is how the villain thinks. This is how they rationalize like what they're doing is for the greater good. I felt like, what is good and what is evil, and how do we even like define that? I wasn't expecting to have like a moral existential crisis while reading these books. And honestly, at times I found myself agreeing with the rationalizations, even though I was like, this is absolutely terrible what they're doing. The 3rd book in this series is anticipated to come out in 2026, and I'm very excited. I think that's going to be the completed series. I would really love for this to be turned into a TV show though. I think it would be a really good media for the screen. Next, we have Honey and Spice. I love this book. It's so freaking good. It's probably the best banter I have ever read in a romance book. I just really enjoyed Kiki's inner monologue. Kiki's the main character. I love how she hated on men. If I'm being so real, I just loved how she hated on them. I was like, yes, this is me. I feel seen in this book. After meeting Malachi, she opens up her communication more, which I think at that age in the college years, like, communication is not very big because you just want to have your point of view and just stick in it because you don't think anyone else is right. It's just so heartwarming to see characters grow into what greater thing that they can become. I loved the way her and Malachi flirted with each other. It was so like, it felt like the sparks were flying off the page. These characters are not even real, and I could feel the sparks. Then we have Problematic Summer Romance, which is an Allie Hazelwood favorite of mine. When I started reading this book, I was kind of really not feeling romance. I felt like everything felt repetitive. Nothing was really feeling new or unique. I was taking a break from romance, but then I picked this up. I ate this up, and I think I read it in like a day or two. There's an age gap between them, which I usually don't go for age gap romances, but something about this, it really did it for me. This is the perfect beach read. It was so well paced. Recently, I've felt like romance books have not been well paced. There's just a lot of romance, huge conflict, third act breakup. Then in the last 5 pages, we're good again. No, get it together. There needs to be real conflict, and it should be prevalent throughout the entire book. There was a real conflict. The conflict was that there was an age gap. The Connor was like her brother's best friend. It just felt really refreshing. I genuinely enjoyed it. Like, it was just such a good, fun read. It's bingeable. It's a little spicy. It's very cute. The banter is good. What more can you want from a romance book? Lastly, we have a love song for Ricky Wilde. I think the theme of this year's books was really just powerful, confident, strong female main characters. I will and want to read everything Tia Williams writes. I think her writing is so witty and lyrical at the same time. She really does a good job of making you see the characters so vividly in your mind. It's about a love story that spans over 100 years. It's like Ezra's stuck in 2 different timelines. This felt really unique and different, and I really loved learning about the histories of Harlem and the jazz age in New York. The romance was very lyrical, beautiful, masterfully written. Tia Williams has this like unique ability to really make you feel the love between her characters, like true love. She has such a beautiful way of describing it in here. Let me see if I can find a quote. You know, when you're up late at night reading and the lines between reality and the book get fuzzy, time becomes elastic and you fade into a story. That's what it feels like talking to him, like a hazy, heightened experience. And afterwards, my head is spinning. I can't figure any of it out. I see quotes like this and I'm like, wow, I wish I could describe it like that. Like, I'm going to learn from this text that I read, and I'm going to try to describe love like that going forward. Her writing is truly so inspiring. The words, I can't. The prose just describe their feelings for each other so clearly and vividly, and I feel it, I feel it in my heart, in my bones, what they're feeling for each other. Anyways, all that to say is please read Tia Williams. That was all my 7 favorite books of this year. Books that genuinely made me feel. Books that genuinely made me feel. I'm just saying, if you want to feel alive, read these books. Please share with me in the comments what were your favorites from 2025 so I can add them to my 2026 TBR. Have a wonderful and happy new year and a great year ahead, and I'll see you next week.